Great time coming up ahead. Two amazing workshops integrated in our agenda. The person I'm inviting here is a dear friend and somebody I respect. I think most of Bulgarians in the telecom industry respect for who he is, what he's achieved, how he turned stuff here in this country. His name is Krasen Hinkov. So Krasen, please join me on stage, otherwise I'm going to start crying. Sharing more about you, because I truly do admire what you've done, mate. So,
thanks.
Krasen just called me and he said, listen, I quit. I mean, after MTEL, he jumped to a totally different business in gambling, leading.
That's entertainment.
That's what you call it, yeah. It's
pure
gambling, for God's sake. Yeah, so getting people's money, that's what I call it. So he was working for Webit, if I'm not mistaken, as a CEO, but then he quit, obviously not to have bad karma, and now he creates an amazing karma around himself, talking about innovation, a word that he knows quite well. So I'm leaving you with him here on stage for quite some time to talk about innovation. Thanks, mate.
Thanks
for joining.
Thanks, for it. Are you asleep? Yeah, it's the afternoon. We have the slides. Perfect. Today I'm going to tell you, let's say, a story which is a practical story. It won't be so enthusiastic and emotional, but it will be very practical and pragmatic story. And to be honest, it will show you, okay, everybody thinks he's a genius at some time, but to be honest, in most of the cases, it's not happening, the genius things. So today, what I'm going to show you is a practical approach towards innovation. And actually, first of all, I'm going to say a couple of words about what is actually innovation, because this is very exploited word. It's twisted in all directions. It has a lot of meanings, but we have to clearly define what we are speaking about. Then I'll show you where the CEE stands in terms of innovation in Europe. And what is next? We'll touch the point of systematic versus genius approach. Unfortunately, I'm not a genius, so as my education is technical, I prefer the systematic approach. And the last thing that we are going to see is how practically this can happen. What is innovation? If you go in the internet, you'll find more than 30, 40, or even 50 definitions, and I just picked several of them, which is things like Barack Obama said, or Peter Drucker, and of course the Innovation Productivity blog. So basically, if you look at all these definitions and try to synthesize, you'll see three simple things. First of all, innovation is something new and fresh that you're doing. Original or improved in the way it is. Second, which is extremely important, this thing adds value. This is often misleaded. If you buy a new Mercedes, it's not an innovation. You're buying something new. This, what you do, has to have added value. And third, it creates profit or benefit for the society and the company and you specifically. So with these three things in mind, we can move forward. European Union is measuring innovation in the countries in the EU each year. And here I picked the index that was recently published 3 weeks ago. Sadly, I marked CEE countries. You see where is the laser? You see that the EU average is the blue one, and we all sit in the left side, meaning that the level of innovation in the region is quite low. Actually, it's the lowest. And the lowest of the lowest, unfortunately, is Bulgaria. Only Slovenia is close to the average level of innovation in Europe, to the average, not to the top. So my message here is, I want to thank Plamen for the event. they work great, and this effort push towards the innovation in this region. And whatever you do, as a startup or as VC or as just a business innovation, it adds value to this. And we have to move from this bottom. And we should, otherwise the country will never change. The country will never prosper. Look who we are discussing at the top. Finland, Denmark, Sweden. The most wealthy places. This can answer some of the questions that are global for the country, but I'll move forward. Innovation and growth. Why we are speaking about innovation? Because there is a very simple reason. This is the graphic from the Pricewaterhouse Breakthrough Innovation and Growth analysis that they make each year. You see that the companies that are innovative grow more than 3 times faster than the other companies. Growth is directly linked to innovation. If you want to have a long-term sustainable growth, you should innovate your business. And some insights from this research. The top innovators will generate 250 billion US dollars in the next 5 years. Imagine what kind of resource and money is this. 51% of the companies, for them the innovation is competitive necessity. If you don't innovate, you will die from your competitors. They will eat your lunch or breakfast or even the dinner that you have. 75% of the most innovative companies have a well-defined strategy for innovation. And here I want to make a short test. Who of you think that innovation is important for their companies? Can raise the hands. Okay, almost everybody, clear. Who of you think that your company is doing it the right way? Okay, 3, perfect. So, this absolutely confirms the analysis of these guys. They say, the analysis shows very simple thing. Almost all of the companies think that innovation is very important. Almost all of the managers in these companies think they don't do it the right way. Obviously, it's not a matter of priority or strategy, it's a matter of doing it the right way. And for the first time, at the research Pricewaterhouse is doing, innovation is equally important than efficiency of the company. For the first time, the managers think that they should spend more time innovating rather than cutting costs. This means that the companies reach the bones. You cannot cut anymore. So you have to grow. The only way to grow is to develop your business and innovate. Creativity. God or daily life or whatever, the hand of God. So these typical types of persons, they're usually associated with creativity. The artists, the children, the visionary people, and of course the genius, which is obviously the toppest, the top part of the pyramid. But I have to disappoint you that most probably you and your team, I don't want to be rude and to offend anybody, but we have to be realistic. Not all of you. I also don't think that it's me and my team that we work and my friends. We are actually not so genius people. So we have to have a practical approach, but we still want to develop our business. Okay, if the hand of God touched your head, then you'll have this brilliant idea. But what if this is not happening? Or you want to do something new next week. You cannot push the great ideas for next week on Tuesday, 10 p.m. or a.m. Doesn't matter. So there you need a practical approach how to really develop innovation. So here comes the whole story. There are methodologies that can help you build innovation. These theories are developed in the last 20 or 30 years. Some of them are much older and now found a new development actually. And of course, theory for inventing problem solving, design thinking, which is very popular, systematic inventive thinking, but also you have lateral thinking, creative problem solving, Osborne-Parnasse process. This may sound a little bit academic, but this guy Osborne, I think you know. Do you know who is he? He is the guy from BBDO. The O from this agency, creative agency, is this guy Osborne. So they made the process of systematic creativity, customer-driven innovation from Intuit, and a lot more methodologies. What I'm going to show you today, I'll focus on only one, because we have only 30-40 minutes. But actually, all this spectrum gives you a systematic approach towards developing new stuff. Why systematic inventive thinking? Because it's very practical, it's very systematical, and you can do it tomorrow, and everybody can do it. The fundamental idea. The fundamental idea is very simple. Some, now I can say genius people, found that you see one and the same patterns when you solve different problems. When you when you go for a problem-solving task, the more times you go through this task, you see a pattern of problems that appear. So these guys come up with a simple idea. Let's analyze these patterns and see what kind of tools we can apply so that we can solve this problem or create this new stuff. This guy, Altschuler, quite a known guy because obviously he's unknown because he lived in Russia, actually Soviet Union, in the communist times. He tried and started scanning patents that are officially inventions that are patented. And he studied more than 200,000, some say 400,000, maybe a million patents. And what he found is that there are patterns inside of these inventions. That there are schemas that you can find in all these patents. And he found 39 common engineering parameters, 40 inventive principles, 70 standards, 400 physical effects. So basically, he created a huge and very complicated theory explaining how new stuff is born. And this is the theory that he created in mid-60s, I think. Of course, just let me, okay. This theory was very hard to apply because it was very complicated. So another bunch of very intelligent and genius people took this complicated theory, simplified it, unified it, and applied one very simple principle. All the components that you need are sitting in front of you. Everybody's saying, think outside of the box. Think, if I'm an engineer, think about the medical stuff that they're doing. If I'm a marketeer, think about the technical stuff. This guy said, no. Think within your yard, within your backyard. Everything is there. Think inside of the box. And when they applied these principles and simplified this theory, they come up with systematic inventive thinking. This method, or this theory, has 5 principles that are followed, mandatory, and 5 methods that you apply to create new stuff. And why you have to do it? Because there are 3 very simple advantages. You work with only existing resources, so you don't. Everybody can say, okay, we have to develop this, we have to buy this equipment and invest in these companies and acquire these resources, and it will cost 100 millions. We heard here 100 or 200 or 500 million. No, you focus on your existing resources. You create a vast amount of ideas applying these methods, and you do it tomorrow at 2 p.m. Not coming from God, but coming in your daily life. I think we have a video here, which is explaining actually what it's all about. It's very short, I think around 2 minutes. Can we launch it?
You know that if there's one thing that can streamline your business, gain more clients, help you stay neck to neck with the competition, and take the lead. It's probably innovation. Big word, innovation. Innovation. Yes, although definitely desirable, innovation sometimes feels like magic or alchemy, a welcome yet inexplicable phenomenon. Wouldn't it be wonderful if innovation could be learned, applied, and managed in your company just as any other process? Meet SIT, Systematic Inventive Thinking, a company and a proven method for innovation. Since 1996, SIT has been working with companies and organizations of all shapes and sizes across multiple industries and cultures, 64 countries and 11 languages. Companies like yours work with us to systematically become more innovative in order to achieve and even surpass their business goals. Using the SIT methodology, they create and launch new products, become more productive, reinvent business models, solve environmental challenges. With our assistance, they create portfolios of novel ideas with clear action plans to implement them and generate innovative solutions for here and now, and also for tomorrow. And here's one more thing. The SIT method leads you to generate innovation based on the people and capabilities you already have. We call it innovating inside the box. Our process gives you the systematic search engine you need in order to find those good ideas inside your company, inside your business environment, and to identify the resources needed in order to implement them. And because it is systematic and can be learned, the SIT method can be applied by you at all levels in all areas of the organization. We work with you to make sure that you get the results, skills, and structures in place to make your innovation sustainable, even after we phase ourselves out and you become independent. With SIT, you are guaranteed a strong return on innovation because our work is structured and designed to achieve and measure it. This leads to good ideas that lead to good solutions which create a real business impact. That's innovation the SIT way. No blue skies, no brainstorms, no magic. Just great solutions to help you stay ahead.
Okay, I think this is it. Focus now. Focus on your. Oops. Okay, so we'll dig a little bit deeper, but without getting you drowned in this theory and practice. Actually, the principles are very simple. They may sound strange because here we're thinking about startups, about free your mind, about genius ideas and whatever it is. I don't question this approach. I'm saying that when you want to do it you have to use some kind of methodology in order to have some systematic approach. So basically the principles are very simple. Closed world, I already mentioned. All the building blocks for your answer, for your problem, are sitting in front of you. You have to look at your backyard. Second, qualitative change. If you change something or do something, make sure that the change that you do changes the parameters, but also the whole product and the whole project. Path of most resistance. Yeah, it's very simple to use the path of least resistance, to find the easiest way to go. But actually, the biggest idea arrived when you challenge the most resisted way, when you use the most resistant path. Limit rather than dilute. Focus narrowly on what you want to do. Don't spread your mind and your resources on 100 places. Focus on one particular item. Function follows form. I'll explain a little bit later. And here are the tools. The tools are very simple. They're almost like the mathematical equations. First tool is code subtraction. The tool is applied when you remove an essential component of the product. Take one product and remove one component and see what will happen. Multiplication. Take one product and multiply one of its components. Classical example is Gillette with the razors. Putting 3 razors or 2 razors or 4 razors, now they have, I don't know how many razors they have, then you change qualitatively the product. Division. Divide the component and reform them in the new product. Task unification. Give one component a task that is not particularly suitable for this component. Attribute dependency. Combine external and internal components and then change the product. So it may sound a little bit theoretic, but I'll give you a practical examples. What's the result when you do these things? Very important before doing this is to explain you that actually methods tell you what to do, but if you don't follow the principles, you will fail. Now I'm going to show you some examples for these methods and how they are used. We'll try to find a common pattern here. This is the ATM machine. This is the instant soup. This is the exercise machine, veloergometer or whatever it's called. And the last one is the eye lenses. What is the common here? The common here is that a vital component from the products are removed. What is the removed component of the ATM? This is a cash desk without a cashier. So the cashier is removed. What is the instant soup? The instant soup is soup without the water. It's very simple. The bike without the wheels is the exercise machine. And the glasses without the frame is actually the eye lenses. So this is a practical example how these things can happen. And function follows form principle explains the following. You first make the form, then you try to find the function. So it's not that you identify client needs and so on, and then you try to come up with a solution how to satisfy the needs. No, it's vice versa. You first apply the methods, you see how the form will be, fine-tune it, and then see what's the benefit for the client. And you see that this is very powerful too. Another example. What is the common pattern between the happy hour and I don't know if it's seen enough. These are the lights of the car that follow the curves. You know, the new cars has these lights that follow the curves, and you see better what's behind the turn. So you can explain these two things very easily with the methods. Happy hour is combination of internal parameter, which is the price of the products in a restaurant, and external parameter, the time of the day. So when you combine the time of the day with the price, you have the happy hour concept. If you combine the light's direction and the turn of the roads, you have these lights. So this is practical example how you can combine components. Attribute dependency. We have a video here. Can we put the nice small dog?
Lately I've just been feeling a little small. Sometimes I feel like I live in a world that, isn't really built for me. I tried to fit in. I used to do these stretches my vet said would lengthen my muscles. That was a disaster. One time I tried to dress like one of the other dogs in town. I don't think he noticed. The truth is, I'm a small dog. I guess you could say, what's so bad about small, right? My best friend Tiny doesn't seem to care. Look at the computer chip, what that can do. Or a diamond, people spend like $100 on one of those. So I guess in life it's all about how you look at it. Tiny tells me I should work on developing the Napoleon complex. I guess I could if I knew what that meant.
But in the meantime, if you could just throw me a bone that's a little smaller, I'd like that.
So it's a food for small dogs. So basically, they made a dog food that is specially tailored for the small-sized dogs. And this is a practical example also how they combine attributes. Oops, maybe next slide. Huh? Okay. So now one example of task unification method. You know what's this? I was surprised about maybe not all of you know what exactly stays behind the CAPTCHA. It's the Turing test for telling people from computers. And you know, this stays on a lot of places in the internet, and it's protecting your sites from scripts and so on and so on. Most of you are better in this area than me. So one of the tasks is actually protecting the sites. But I don't know if all of you are familiar that there is another task here, which is reCAPTCHA, which is this guy that invented this thing. Actually, this helps. This is a manual OCR. These pieces of images are scanned images from books or digital. When they try to digitalize some old books, they're not able to read, the OCR cannot read the text. So they use this, first of all, to protect the site. And second, the people, when they enter manually, they actually OCR manually the text. And they, each year, hundreds of thousands of books are manually OCR'd via this. So see here how one thing that looks pretty straightforward on one direction can actually have second perspective that unifies another task. So this is also an example how the methods work. And why these methods actually work? Because in the 1992, this psychologist Ronald Fink discovered that actually people are better in searching a benefit for given configuration, rather than trying to figure out the configuration for certain benefit. So he said, the classic example is with a bottle for babies, for small babies, the bottle for milk, which has an indicator how hot is the milk, in order not to have a problem for the baby. If they come to you and tell you, come up with an idea how you're going to solve this problem, the baby to have the milk at exact temperature, most probably you won't come up with such an idea. But if they show you a bottle with indicator for the temperature, then you will immediately understand why this bottle will work, because you'll see the temperature. So this psychologist, in his research, said very simple thing. It's easier to associate function with form rather than looking for form to solve certain function. That's why this is very effective, because you immediately see the benefits. So for my presentation, some keynotes at the end. Innovation. As I mentioned several times, growth is directly connected with innovation. In the long-term run, it's not possible to sustainably develop your company without making something new. So, build something fresh, create value for your clients, and ultimately you'll create value for your company. Systematic. Take the systematic approach. Don't wait the apple to fall on your head like on Isaac Newton's head to discover the next big idea. Just shake a little bit the tree, apply the methods, and you'll come up with a lot of ideas within 24 hours. And the last one, Systematic inventive thinking. Why? Because it saves resources, saves your resources. You work with your existing resources. And of course, it generates endless possibilities. This is what I wanted to show you for today. I hope that I gave you a little bit of glance and a little bit of view how you can make systematically new products and solve a lot of problems in your business. If you want to contact me and our team, welcome, you're welcome. We can help you with these things. If you have any questions, I'm here for some questions if you have. Okay, we have one question. Yeah, of course.
Could I challenge you and ask you, in fact, if you could help me, because I'm into innovation of management, innovation of leadership, and the way companies are managed. So could we apply this together? Because I run a concept called new management, and I want to fill it with content. Yeah.
Sure, we can. This concept is not limited only to new product development, but it's easily explained, and most in the cases it's used for new product development. Actually, this concept it was built for problem solving and for changes and all these things that you want to do. So it's a universal concept. The methods and the principles can be applied to any ecosystem or system. So it's perfectly viable to do it with management. Yeah, sure.
Let's see how many participate.
Everyone can join. Some other questions? No. Thank you.
But I need many. I need many of them.